Welcome to the Orange Hammer Podcast. My name is Corbett Storick. I've been a licensed general contractor for 8+ years, specializing in new construction, renovation, furniture building. I'm the son of an architect and an interior designer, and I've been surrounded in this industry since birth, watching all aspects from concept, design, build, punch list, and of course, all the problems that come up in between. In my time in Durham, North Carolina, I've noticed a significant gap in knowledge between homeowners who need work and the people who do the work. On this podcast, I hope to break down the process of homeownership from the perspective of both the homeowner and the contractor in an effort to help raise the knowledge of homeowners about their homes and the construction/renovation process. I hope you enjoy. If you're enjoying the Orange Hammer Podcast, or if you have a topic that you want covered, or have recently done a project, please contact the Orange Hammer Podcast. The Orange Hammer Podcast is on Instagram and Facebook. Please like and subscribe, share on whatever platform you're enjoying your podcast on. Also, check out our YouTube channel, The Orange Hammer. The Orange Hammer Podcast is proud to be brought to you by CRS Contracting LLC for all your construction and handyman needs, new buildings to renovations, furniture building, EV charger install, or even a TV mounted. You can call me, Corbett Storick. It'd be my pleasure to help you. You can find me on Instagram at CRS Contracting. WSDG, the Walter Storick Design Group, specialists in architectural and acoustical consulting. Check out WSDG.com. And Taylor Bragg, for all your artistic needs in all mediums. You can find her on Instagram at brag_about_art. That's brag, BRGG, with 2 G's. She's the fantastic artist behind the Orange Hammer logo, and she did my fantastic table painting of my podcasting table. Welcome, everybody, to the Orange Hammer Podcast. We welcome our guest, Sara. Sara, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Corbett. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks so much for coming. You're
for
kind of like not your average homeowner edition, episode 1, a new segment that I randomly just made. I guess we should do a quick shout out, though, to our mutual friend, Adine, who works at H2O. If anybody's listening in the Durham area and they need, what did she do? Hair, nails, makeup,
skincare, all types of stuff.
All of the above.
She's really good, actually.
She does all of that stuff. Okay. Let's get a quick shout out there. So you are a new homeowner, first-time homeowner. When did you buy your home? Let's just dive right into it.
Sure. So I bought my house in June of 2022. So about a year ago.
Fresh.
Yeah. I feel like I was thrown in. And I bought it like one of the worst time periods you could probably buy a house, but I did. And I got in.
You know, history may turn around, and that might be a different point of view before you know it.
Right.
You know, who knows? And I don't think it sounds like, based on the conversations we've had off air, you have zero regrets about jumping in.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, I love the house, and I'm optimistic for what it will be like in the future.
Yeah. And so you should be. But beyond it being by itself a cool property, and in a nice area, we're not going to put out your address, obviously.
Thank you.
But we are in the triangle here. You've had a lot of work done to it.
I have.
And quite a few stories and experiences on the positive and on the negative, and that's what led us to think that this would be a fun episode.
Yeah. Probably some mutual experiences that other newer homeowners can also hopefully relate to as well, that might help them, know how to avoid stuff or what to look for when they're looking for the person to do certain tasks, that type of thing.
Yeah, so let's, very well said, let's just dive right in. In any particular order that either it happened or you can remember, what was the first thing that you started to do to the house? Or could we start even maybe a little further back if you have the memories of buying the house? How did you find your real estate agent?
Yeah, so my real estate agent, her name is Carla Janney Stewart. I knew her actually from high school.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I knew her well, and I also knew that she had a lot of experience in the industry because she had worked for a builder as an agent for them for about a decade.
An in-house
Yes.
real estate agent for a builder.
Yes,
That's a cool job.
a well-known builder.
Okay.
I don't want to mention their name unless that's okay, but
I mean, I don't. You could mention anyone's name.
she worked
but
for
you
Dan
don't have
Ryan
to.
Builders.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And so I knew she had the experience because at first I was looking at new construction for the price range I was looking in. I thought I would be able to find
What
that.
range are we in?
I was looking at, between like 350 and 450. Like 450 was definitely like my max. I didn't really feel comfortable going over that. Like I guess I would if it was something I really loved, but I didn't want to go over that. I was definitely trying to keep it on the lower end.
And out of curiosity, what was the process like, and who did you talk to come up with that number? Did you talk to a mortgage specialist, a financial person, to be like, okay, this is what I make, this is what I saved, like this is what I'm comfortable, this is what I can deal with, like, and then they come up with a number?
No, I kind of had come up with that number in my head because I knew what my finances were. I knew what my income was. I've been at my current job for over 5 years.
Okay, so you had some years in the book.
Yes, I've been there for technically over 7 years. But so I had like a consistent job and everything, and I knew what I'd frugally saved for the last like 2 to 3 years with the intent of buying a house. I think a little bit, but around the time that it was announced at first that Apple was coming to the Triangle, I knew I wanted to, or that there was interest that they had in the Triangle. I knew my goal was to get a house before they got here because I felt like after that, my chances would be like slim to none.
Yeah, I mean, that would,
with how much
potentially the value would go
right.
up. Yeah.
So I was like, that's my goal. So, I frugally saved, of course, before then. But, the first step for me was actually just reaching out to Carla directly since I knew her from school and stuff, and other mutual friends. And just kind of told her what I was looking for, asked her if she could help because I trusted her. I knew her as a person. She's kind of like, a boss bitch who made her own way and worked her way up the ladder. And she was an excellent, salesperson, but I also trust her as a person because I knew her personality and everything from high school and stuff. So
that takes so much of the stress away.
Absolutely.
From other new home buyers who might be like maybe moving to a place where they have no connection,
right?
No friends, no established people and like the only connection they might have would be like asking a new boss or something like, do you know anybody? Whereas like you got to skip the getting to know you phase of having that awkward first coffee with a realtor. You were like, oh, friend, trust her. We're good. Move on. Yeah, that's awesome.
I did have a very good friend of mine who she had bought a house like maybe a year prior to when I bought a house. So right before things got crazy, but still like when things were starting to pick up.
In the same area with the same realtor?
Out in Mebane. No,
okay.
Completely different realtors experience. That's why I was talking about it. But they had a bad experience with their first realtor because they felt like he was a little bit pushy, and like he wasn't like listening to what they wanted, or like, just not a good experience. And so they ended up finding a different realtor who they then liked. Okay, they said, enough to kind of help them work on the deal of getting the house. Because I think that initially the house that they put an offer on, maybe like the second or third one they put an offer on, because sometimes you don't always get the first house sometimes.
Oh, rarely.
Yeah. I went through that too. But anyway, so, the realtor even gave them some advice when the seller counteracted their price with, saying like, oh, they had so-and-so offers on the house. And the realtor advised my friend that they were like, oh, well, if they're mentioning that, you can like ask them what like about these other offers and stuff. And then they found out that there actually were like no other offers except for like there were no other offers on the house.
So it's just a lie.
Yeah. And then it was sales tactic probably in a realtor's point of view, it is sales and stuff. I don't know. It's definitely not like the right way to go about business, but yeah, pretty much to try to like get them to go up in price, to be like, because they were offering like I think 3,000 or so below asking, and so she was trying to get them to meet them at like the asking price or something like that. And the seller, that is, but their realtor advised them of this, and so they asked that question, and then they found out there were no other offers, and so they stayed firm with their offer, and they, got the house because there were no other offers. So,
Yeah.
and the house had been on the market for a bit. So
$3,000 below, just that's like basically you're good.
yeah, yeah, it was just a sales tactic, I think, not a good one, not a very professional, right way. Not how most good salespeople would do it, but yeah. You just have to kind of feel. I would say, as a salesperson myself, you have to feel out the vibe of a person. You might have to meet with multiple realtors, although I didn't have that experience. And you have to just go with your gut, with how they seem as a person. And, like, do they seem like a good person who's going to have my best interest in heart and not their best interest in heart? Because it's about you, at the end of the day, looking for a home.
Yeah, I mean, they get the percentage because they are literally working for you. So, right. Yeah, I mean, I think it's such a crucial thing to have that trust.
Mm-hmm.
And I applaud your friends for being like, okay, this dude's pushy. We can just find another realtor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't. There's a lot of options, and you can find somebody that's good for you. I've had multiple different realtors on this podcast, and they, they're not even competition for each other because they're just in different worlds,
mm-hmm.
like price point wise mostly, but they're just in different worlds, and they work like steady, and it's fine. But you want the right person for your needs.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you didn't get the first house you wanted.
Or the second.
Yeah. Did you have to go in above asking?
Yes.
Okay. How much?
For which house?
The one you got.
I went 80 above asking. And I say that because I do feel like I overpaid for the house, for not for what it is now and what it's worth since I remodeled it. But I paid over asking because the last two houses I put offers on, I didn't get, because at the time, this was between January and April of 2022, when the interest rates were still like pretty low. And every house, the other two houses I had put an offer on, which I also put an offer on the other two houses significantly over asking, because that's just how things were then with so many people looking to buy. And I had lost out on those two houses, and the offers that they had accepted once I saw the sold price post online was about $100K or more over asking. So that was why I chose to just go for it, because the house was priced below, on the lower end of my price range, so I felt comfortable going higher. Even though then I'd be near the top of what my price range was, I didn't have to go over my price range, what I ultimately had.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And obviously you got it. Was there a lot of back and forth?
There was a little back and forth. They had told me they had 12 other offers on the house, and they did provide proof of that. And they had asked me, or asked my realtor to ask me, the seller's agent, that is, if the current owners could stay in the house for a month for free. Because obviously, when I wrote up the contract, I put a close date of June 1st. So this is in late April at this point.
Okay.
Because, you have so much time to get once it's under contract, you have so much time to get all your stuff together for the mortgage and everything like that, and the due diligence and stuff, which I still planned on having. I didn't forfeit that at all. But anyways, so yeah, they said they wanted to live in the house an extra month beyond what I'd put as the close date until July 1st, and that they had the option, if I approved it, to live in the house past July 1st, but they would have to pay me then $100 per day if I approved it. That would be the set rate per day.
Did you agree to this?
I asked my realtor, I was like, well, no, can I charge them something like rent, And she was like, well, you can certainly ask, but honestly, with the way things have been, they're kind of shopping around for someone who will say yes right now is what it seems like.
Like that was more important than even
because
a 5 or 10
yes,
grand
and
difference.
I should also say the reason they were asking to stay in the house an additional month is because they were having a new house built, and that new house was still not ready.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. But also,
no house has ever been
pay.
built. No house has ever been built on time.
Right.
So they were like, it'll be ready, and then it wasn't.
Which is not my problem, but still, I am empathetic to that. And she was like, you can, but they're probably just shopping around right now for someone to say yes. And based on how many offers they have, they'll probably find that, with the market we've seen. Because
so you just said screw it.
Yeah, I just said screw it, and and she said they did get renter's insurance on the house, so at least that would reduce my liability if something were to happen, like if a pipe burst or whatever, while they were in that house for the months. And I, when I toured the house and everything, like I could tell that like the people were kind of like neat freaks, just with the way things were organized, because they were still living in the house, but I could just tell that it was like, like they had a calendar up of like their meal prepped out for the week. Like I could tell they were very like, I don't know. I didn't feel like they were going to be punching holes in walls and stuff like that, like right before they moved out. So, I agreed to it, but I said I said July 1st is it. Like they have to be out by July 1st. And then actually, about, I think it was like a couple days before the closing date, so a couple days before June 1st, they asked again if they could stay past July 1st for like a couple weeks because their house still wasn't supposed to be ready. And I told them no, because at that point I'd already scheduled contract work for contractors to start like the first or beginning of the second week of July. So I told them no to that, and we had agreed on what we agreed on. So
let's jump into the contract work then.
Yeah. So fortunately, the timing kind of worked out, because between when I closed on the house, which was June 1st, and when my lease was up at my current apartment, which was in like early August, I had a little bit of time, So the first thing I wanted to do is refinish the hardwood floors, because I loved the floors in the house. There's definitely some wear and tear. The house was built like 20 years ago, and the floors looked like they hadn't been refinished in that amount of time. So I wanted to refinish them, and I did my research, looked into some different contractors, got quotes and stuff like that. And my general contractor, who I knew I was going to work with on all the other big stuff in the house that I did, he gave me also a guy, to do it. But I ended up going with this company in Raleigh, American Dream Flooring and Tile, I believe. Because they had really great reviews, almost like I believe it was 5 stars, if not 4.9. I don't know, but really great reviews, a lifetime warranty guarantee. They've been in the business for 25 years at least, they said it online, and that type of thing. And they were more expensive than the other quotes I'd gotten, but I liked the idea of a lifetime warranty, and I wanted to go with someone, and it did also say online that they were insured, so I obviously wanted to make sure someone was insured. And so I went with the more expensive option because I thought I was going to get better quality work, which I did not end up. I mean, they did a good job in some places, but not in others.
Yeah, you got duped by some marketing. It happens.
Yeah.
Next time, trust your contractor. If you trust him to hire him for like other stuff, there's probably a good reason that
it was actually
he's got
the
a flooring
subcontractor.
Guy.
It was the way the flooring company handled things.
Didn't you say they like gouged your steps?
Yeah, I had 14 stairs, which were also wood, so I paid to have those refinished. I had about 1,200 plus square feet of wood flooring in the house, including closet space, and I don't think that includes the stairs, but because those were a separate line item. Anyways,
that's fine.
So, they had like used a sander machine on my stairs and had gouged every single one of my 14 risers. Some of the gouges were like at least a centimeter into the riser. And that's pretty noticeable.
That's pretty noticeable, and also like very surprising for a company that's supposedly 25 years in the business. Right. And okay, so we're gonna skip using that company for anybody who's listening. What else did you do?
I also pretty much demoed my kitchen.
Okay.
Like I had all the cabinets removed. I had no
Where'd you
sink or
get new
running
cabinets
water.
from?
My general contractor, his name is Chris Harris. He was great. He sourced them for me. At first I was gonna try to keep the cabinets because they were all still hardwood. It was just like builder grade like cabinets, like original to the house, and they didn't even have hardware on them. And I was gonna try to keep them, paint them, put soft close harder on them. But when I was looking over it with Chris, we noticed that some of the boxes were coming apart from each other.
Okay, so you get all new cabinets.
Yeah.
Yeah. What kind of countertops?
I got quartz.
Nice. We just did that on our newest rental.
Oh,
It's
nice.
so great. Like a white with like
white.
black
It has
cracks
veins.
and stuff.
It has veins
Yeah.
in it. I think it's called Carrera Gold. It has like gold and gray veins in it.
Okay, we didn't go with the gold fancy
It's not
veins,
that
but
much
that's
gold.
cool. No, I'm complimenting. Well, that would have been
the
a
smoky gray.
That would have been a good move though, because we used a gold faucet in the kitchen sink,
Oh,
and we
yeah,
used
that would be
gold
good.
pulls for the cabinets.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you did a full
Remodel.
yeah. So if you're doing cabinets, that means you had to do sink,
Yeah.
backsplash, cabinet, or
I had no
countertops.
kitchen sink or running water in the kitchen for about 3 months, from about like mid-August to like late October.
3 months is a long time.
I was washing dishes outside with my water spigot.
Yeah, I would have just done takeout. That's impressive that you kept it going.
Well, hey, I was paying to have my house renovated.
Yeah,
There's no
so
eating out then.
Did you get all new appliances?
I did.
Okay. Yeah, so you did a full
Yeah.
kitchen. Yeah.
Yeah, all
So-
new appliances, including a washer dryer.
So what's a kitchen cost?
Well, I got some really good prices because
What's a kitchen cost?
some prices my general contractor does not want me to disclose because they are such good prices,
Just give me a total.
including plumbings. I got all new fixtures and everything.
Yeah. Like, what does the kitchen cost? Was it 15 grand? Was it 10 grand? Was it
I'm trying
4
to
grand?
think.
Was it
Hold on.
25
I'm
grand?
adding them up in my head. One second.
You can ballpark it.
It was maybe about 20.
20.
15 to 20.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not shocked
I guess
at
if
all.
I'm including the appliances, then yeah,
what do you?
20.
A kitchen
Yeah.
without appliances is pretty useless.
Yeah,
So,
so 20.
Yeah. You didn't like overpay. I'm just curious. Like, when
Can I say what it included though?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, that included all new cabinets, painted and installed, soft close hardware, brand new kitchen sink, farmhouse sink, brand new faucet, which was more than the dishwasher because it's a soft touch, backsplash, new lighting, painting the kitchen, and also, of course, the quartz countertops and
Backsplash.
hood. Yeah, the tile backsplash and a hood vent that goes up to the ceiling.
Yeah.
And then a stove, double oven, and
you mentioned you got a washer dryer,
and then
with
a
your
washer
whole
dryer
appliance thing. So
Yeah.
when we're talking 20 grand with a washer dryer, it's probably like 18 as a washer dryer.
No, I got them on sale.
No, I'm saying we're not including the washer and dryer.
Oh yeah, no, not including
Yeah,
the
yeah.
washer dryer. Correct. Yes.
That's yeah. No, I know you got it on sale.
It's like, gosh, she pays 18 grand for just a washer dryer.
No. Drop the
Toto
20
shit.
to 18. Isn't like a top shelf washer and dryer?
I
Aren't they
think
like
there's a brand
2Gs?
called Toto, which is top shelf, because when I was looking for a double soaker tub to have in a double person soaker tub to have in my master bath, I did look at that brand because they had like one that was supposed to be like a gravity tub where it was like, it made you feel like you were in zero gravity when you were in it. I don't know.
I know Toto is a top shelf brand
Like,
because
it
my
was some
plumber
crazy
uses them
shit.
for toilets.
And I was like, I want that.
Yeah.
And I looked it up online, and it was like a $25,000 tub. And I was like, all right, well, not going to get that.
I was hoping you were like, and so we put 2 of them in.
No, absolutely
Right
not.
above the bowling alley.
I
No.
did get a quartz tub, though.
A quartz tub.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Very cool.
I think the brand is Dado Quartz, but it is quartz.
So I'm assuming we're talking about the master bathroom?
Correct.
So do you have a quartz tub and a separate shower then?
I do, yeah.
Okay. Was that another gut?
Yes.
Okay. So I quickly, because it all got ripped out, what was there before? Was it tub and shower as well?
Yeah, it was a tub and a wall between the tub and the shower. and like a vanity toilet, you know.
Yeah.
Type
So
stuff.
pretty standard, like the
Yes.
build, like you said, builder grade.
Correct.
Right. So, because I saw the outside pictures of your house, it is cute,
Oh,
but
thank
like
you.
it makes sense that you would want to make the inside look as cute as the outside, because that
Correct.
builder grade stuff, even though you said like hardwood kitchen,
Yeah.
when it's builder grade, it's builder, and you can tell from a mile away. And
Mhm.
like I have seen some really talented painters bring cabinets back to life,
Mhm.
but it costs the same. It costs the
Sometimes,
same
yeah.
amount of money to get like within. It's
close.
close enough where you're
Mhm.
like, okay, well, let's just get new cabinets then.
Yeah.
So I applaud your decision personally.
Thank you.
So the quartz tub, you do a whole new shower. Okay, so you're full gutting that
And I
as
took
well.
a wall down.
Yeah. Okay. Smart idea. Yeah. And now
Between
I'm
the
assuming you
shower
have
tub.
some like glass.
I do, yeah.
Yeah,
I made the shower
very cool.
glass because it was already tiny, but
Yeah.
it gave it a bit
But
more
that's the
space.
move.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing now, even in our rentals.
Yeah.
Which some people look at me and they go, "Why are you doing that in a rental?" And I'm like, "Because it gets a better like just class of human."
Yeah.
Simply walks in and sees that, and they're like, "Oh, maybe we won't treat this house as crappy as we may treat another house." You know, you roll
would
the
hope
dice,
so.
obviously.
You would hope someone would want to take care of nice things. if they're
Yeah,
paying for
it's
it, yeah.
well, it makes it easier. The nicer the things are, the easier somebody wants to take care of them.
Correct.
So like when you put in that Formica like countertop and backsplash all in one piece of crap for your kitchen,
Ew.
that's like, yeah, ew. But when you put that in, nobody cares about that. And they put a hot pot accidentally from the stove on it, and they leave a burn circle. And if you're the landlord like me, I've got to now replace the whole countertop. And two of those, because I had to buy it once already, and now replacement, is more than just buying stone one time, which won't burn. So sometimes it's like, okay, if you're just thinking from a certain perspective, you just throw in the nicer thing once, and yes, you got to pay more
Plus,
up
I
front.
wanted to enjoy it. You know, people.
Well, yes, your perspective is slightly different. I'm just thinking of like
Yeah.
how we,
Correct,
using
yeah.
some nicer stuff, like in general. But like
Yeah.
your perspective is this is mine.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a question for you. How much of your choices were for me, and how much of your choices were for resale?
It was all for me. You know,
I love it.
it was all for me. I already had a vision in mind of what I wanted. And then as soon as I toured the house, I was already planning on what I wanted to do. Like, for example, upstairs in the loft, because it's kind of like a double, it's like a 2-story entrance when you first walk in. So it's like you walk in and it's like, you know, a wall, a hallway, and the loft is there too. So it's a high ceiling with like a chandelier. But I wanted to have a reading nook up there in the loft. You know, they had like a treadmill there previously. I want to have a reading nook and a nice bookshelf with like a velvet blue navy chair. And that's what I have now. It took me a few months, but after saving up after the initial purchase, but that's what I put there. Like I already had a vision, but I did also want to like do things right. Because I'd seen throughout many houses I toured some very ugly designs. Like someone could have some like beautiful like marble countertops, but then have some like vinyl flooring that they put down, or just like some ugly backsplash that looked like polka dots from a distance.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, you can see sometimes it's really clear when people are doing things for resale or themselves, like, for example, me, like, when I redid my deck, I added that barbecue, and that was a straight split. Like half of me was like, this is going to be great for resale. And half of me was like, I'm going to use this.
Yeah.
But for other example, the pallet wall that I did in the other room, like, that is 150% for me, zero appeal on resale. In fact, could hurt. Most likely could even take it down. But at the same time, when that's exactly right buyer. If I decide to list this house,
I think it's cool.
And well, I think it's cool, obviously, because I did it. But like, a lot of people could easily walk in there and go, oh, snap. And I got to remind my realtor, like, it's not put up with glue. You could pop that off. It's finished nails. easy peasy. But the right buyer, as you said, as you
Right.
perfectly said, could walk in and go, "Oh my God, I've always wanted a pallet wall. This is the sign that this is the house," and they
Right.
put in an $80,000 above asking price. I'm
Hope
just,
someone
fu-
does that. No. Uh,
I'm just busting your chops.
but no, you're right. No, it was all for me, but I worked with a designer because I wanted to do it right.
Oh, so you
Like,
did hire like a professional
oh, I
designer?
did. Yeah, and she was amazing. Her name is Derry Washington. Her business is Tranquil Designs LLC. I also just chose her just after like researching some design companies, looking at different profiles
I
and
want to get
stuff.
her on the podcast.
Oh, she might do it.
Well,
She if she has time. She's very busy. But
everybody's busy.
but because she's very popular because she's great. But I she was just like a breath of fresh air. But yeah,
Is she
I went.
local?
She is. She's in Wake Forest, but she
Yeah.
travels a lot. She'll travel to someone in like Mebane or further
I went to Wake Forest for a
or
networking
Nightdale.
meeting.
Yeah,
So like,
she
it's not that
travels a
far.
lot for work. She has no
So.
issue traveling. I'll mention it to her because we still stay in touch. But so anyways, yeah, I hired her. Her company name is Tranquil Designs LLC, and I kind of told her my vision. She would always give me like examples, or if she was giving me like paint colors to choose from, she'd always give me like three choices, within what color I wanted. For example, my cabinets are sage green, like a sage green with a little bit more gray in it, and my countertops are like white and stuff with the veininess, and my backsplash is like kind of like an off-white but still gray, but it has like some texture to it as well. It's like bumpy and like not fully flat, and it all goes together perfectly. And like that's what I wanted, but she's the one who gave me the options, and then I picked out the options I wanted, but it all is like great. So she really listens to what you want, but she also kind of like wants you to push the boundaries. Like when I told her I wanted these colored cabinets, like she was like, "Oh, thank God, I've been doing nothing but white kitchens
Yeah.
lately." Like, thank God, I've been wanting to do a kitchen with green
Something
cabinets.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But someone else might not like that, but I like that. I told her, I was like, what I want is contemporary farmhouse, but I still want it to look like modern. And I redid my stairs too, like all my railing, the master bath, every single lighting fixture, a lot.
Yeah. Um, and then you've also been doing some stuff by yourself, like
Yeah.
beyond what you have subbed out, which are like it seems like you subbed out the pretty much the whole internal project.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
They did let me knock down a wall.
Nice.
They're very kind. They let me knock down a wall and use the jackhammer to take some tile off the wall too. Um, but then after, I think I did a little bit more damage than they were intending. Like I was making their job harder, so they were like, "Okay, you can stop now." And then I didn't try to help anymore, but it was fun. Um, they were very nice, but yeah, they did it all, mostly subcontracted.
Yeah. What have you been doing yourself on the outside?
Well, I did some stuff myself on the inside internally. I replaced all my door hardware on the first floor
Oh,
with
okay. Cool.
matte black, like all the hinges, the door handles,
You did hinges and handles.
hinges, handles, and the little, I don't know what it's called, the little thing that goes in the door that the handle locks into. It
The
goes
latch?
yeah.
Yeah. Well, we consider that part of the handle. Yeah.
Yeah, right. It comes
Yeah,
with
yeah.
it, right.
Yeah, when you buy a handle, like
Actually,
it's
no, I did
all
have to
those,
buy that separately.
all those parts. Oh, did you get like some fancy ones on Etsy or Amazon
No,
or something?
I went to, I think it was called Obrico.
Is that a store or a website?
It was a website, and
Okay.
I got him for a good price because I got him for all the doors downstairs and upstairs, and it was like $293 for that. But it was like,
But they didn't come with those plates.
huh?
You said they didn't come with the striker plate.
They did come with plates,
Oh,
but the
oh,
plates like looked weird and didn't fit right. Like it didn't cover up what the original plate,
okay.
the mark the original plate had left.
Gotcha.
Because they were like more square and didn't like stick out as much or something. So I
Needed a
just ended up going,
chisel and a hammer.
yeah, I did have
Yeah.
that done by one of the subcontractors while they were like doing other stuff. I would always be like, "Hey, can you help me with this real quick?" And they would if it was something small, of course, because they were nice guys. But they did that where they did have to chisel it and stuff to make it fit. And I was like, for the other doors, I'm just gonna go to Home Depot or whatever and get like the same things that match what was there previously.
Yeah, so I don't know what the like standard is, but when you buy like a door, they're all bored out to the same like standard, and same with the like trim on the side has that standard like cutout for the little plate.
Oh, these
So
ones
like
are weird.
yeah, maybe it was like a European
Maybe.
or just like another country's
I think
standard.
they did come from Canada, actually.
Well, maybe that's what it was then.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like
I
we're
wasn't mad about it.
yeah.
The price was great, honestly, for what I compared it to other companies like, Home Depot and Lowe's and stuff.
I mean, I've had to do the chisel and hammer part, and it takes like 4 minutes per door. It's really not.
I
like
tried
that
it,
big
and
of a
again,
deal.
I started doing more damage.
I'm sure because it's a very light. Well, chisels are very specifically much sharper than people actually think, and hammers like they do a lot more force than you think. So you think you're just going to take off a tiny little bit, and next thing you know, you hit the back of that chisel and it goes in like 3/4 of an inch. And you're like, oh shit.
I'm
and
laughing
like,
right now because that's kind of what I did. And then I started cracking my door frame, and that's when I stopped and hit up my contractor.
I know exactly what you
did. I was like, hey, when you get a second, can you like patch this up with some caulk and also chisel this so that this will fit in here? This is all I need. Just this one door, please.
And he took the chisel and he went.
I mean, yeah, it took him like 5 minutes. I don't know. I wasn't even.
Like the tiniest little touches. Like, honestly, sometimes you don't even need the hammer because the wood is so, I hate to say it, but like the wood is so cheap these days. Did you replace your doors or trim or anything? You just replaced the hardware. Yeah, so you probably had builder grade doors, which means they were just like nothing against it or anything like that. But it was just like standard pine. Yeah. Like you can just like go in there with two hands.
They were solid. I know they're solid and not hollowed out like
that's
the
good.
interior
Better
doors.
for sound.
Yeah, but yeah, it was pretty standard.
No.
Yeah.
So what else did you do yourself?
Oh yeah, so the hardware inside and
kind of.
What do you mean? I did the whole downstairs. I replaced everything.
But you said they had to chisel the things.
That was one door. I
did
everything.
Just one. Okay.
That was, after that, I went and bought the right one, so I didn't have to worry about it. And it's just like removing a couple screws,
I'm just trying to bust your chops. I thought you had to like make them chisel out 10 doors.
No, I'm not gonna abuse their work for free for that much.
You should pay them to do it. It's okay. Anyway.
I asked them for one door, so I didn't have to pay, because they were just nice. And sometimes I would get them Bojangles, so it was a fair trade.
It's a good move.
Outside I started working. I did a lot of landscaping. Like I built a trellis and like bought a bunch of jasmine plants to kind of like
build a trellis.
Yes. Well, not like a wooden trellis. It's like metal stakes. Cool. And it's not chicken wire. It's bigger than that. It's like
the hog wire.
Not like that. It's like fence wire kind of, but like kind of a bit nicer looking.
Turkey wire. I don't know what the name is.
It has big rectangles and it's metal. Because at first I wanted to do wooden posts and have it look like nice and aesthetic and shit. Like an actual trellis, like a wooden trellis or something going across the whole back line of the fence to have like jasmine and something viney growing up it. So it was like a big green wall in the back. Okay. Do you have a big garden? Are you a big green thumb planter person? I like plants. I've planted some stuff. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I have a lot of house plants and now outdoor plants.
Okay. What's the maintenance like?
I do all I don't know what you mean by maintenance. Like yard work? Like
just like keeping up with all the plants.
Oh, I water every day.
Every day? They're all like daily?
Yeah. Some of them are. Some of them are like tropical plants. So they need a lot of water, and with how hot it's been, I water them every day. Otherwise, they get droopy and the flowers start to fall off, and I don't like droopy plants. So
yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also did some drainage with some rocks and built some little raised garden beds and
nice.
But yeah, the trellis was the biggest thing. Like driving in the stakes, then putting up the wire, obviously. And then I got jasmine plants that I planted all along it, which they've started taking to it and spreading along the wire. Because the goal is...
That's the plan, I assume.
Jasmine?
No, that's the goal.
Oh, yeah.
To have,
and jasmine
vines,
grows really thickly, and it's an evergreen, so, it still stays green in the winter, too.
So you'll have, a permanent fence almost. Like Wrigley Field walls.
Yeah. Sorta, yeah. Just
they're
made
ivy,
of vines.
but still, yeah.
And it smells really good when they flower in the spring and summer too.
That's nice.
So that's why I picked that. And
is it a fenced-in yard?
It is a fenced-in yard. The fence is, was on the house. It needs some work, but that has gradually fallen lower on my list of priorities since I've owned the house.
No pets.
No.
Yeah, well, there you go. It'll be a priority when you get a dog. Till then, you don't have to worry
But
about
I
it.
have dogs over a lot.
Well, okay. Well, then put it on the priority. No,
yeah.
I'm just
No, it's all good. It's just like, there's a couple boards that are like starting to rot on the bottom, and like it has this like trim on top where it's like a little bit janky looking in some spots. It's not like anything crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a few minor repairs away from being ready to paint and look brand new.
Yeah, maybe I'll hire you to do that, Corbett.
I would be happy to do that. Yeah.
When it's not summer.
Yeah, let's wait. September, October, even November would be great. That's great winter work. If there's not snow on the ground, that's fine. I'll still be out there in shorts. It'll be fine. Okay, so your recounts are fantastic. I really appreciate them. I'd love if you have any just like advice that you would want to pass on to other first-time home buyers who might be listening, who are afraid of, hiring that flooring company that's going to leave gouges, or, just who don't necessarily have that, like, go-to realtor that is a good friend in their back pocket. Like, you only get to be a first-time home buyer once.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess I would say to them, like, you need to do your due diligence. Like, don't go with the first. You have to get like 3 quotes, right, before you choose a quote, usually from a contractor. And I did that with everything, but I still made some mistakes along the way that put a damper on things. But you have to kind of like keep moving on, and like just don't get discouraged and don't give up when you don't get the first house or the second house or the third house, even sometimes, or more. And just make sure you do your due diligence. It's great if you like know someone who knows someone that they've used before, even though I've also heard of that going badly. But yeah, just you have to be responsible for it and vet people, and just kind of go with your gut as far as like feeling out if the person seems trustworthy and like a genuine person and not someone who's going to do shoddy work.
That's well put. And if anybody's got a license number, you can look that license number up and see if they have any cases against them or no cases, like me. Hint, hint. Anybody listening? I really want to appreciate, really want to say thanks and appreciate you stopping by and giving us your story. As always, you can find the Orange Hammer podcast on Instagram and Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all that stuff. You can reach out on any of the Instagram ways for CRS contracting or the Orange Hammer if you want to be on the show or talk about something specific. Just let me know. And thanks again for coming.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Bye, everybody.